Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're digging into a really fascinating question. How in the world do you sell something you can't see, touch, or hold? We're going to jump into the world of service marketing and see how companies make the invisible, well, irresistible. Okay, so let's just dive right in with the big one, the question that can keep even the best marketers up at night. I mean, if you're not selling a physical thing, what are you actually selling? And more importantly, how do you get someone to buy what is essentially a promise? And this right here really gets to the heart of it, doesn't it? With a product, it's pretty straightforward. You could hold a new phone in your hand, you can take a car for a test drive, but a service, that's totally different. It's an experience, it's an idea, and that makes it so much harder for us as customers to figure out if it's worth it before we've already paid. So let's start by really unpacking this core problem, the massive challenge of selling something that is, for all intents and purposes, completely invisible. You know, there's actually an official term for this whole problem. It's called service intangibility. And it's really just a fancy way of saying that because services are actions, not objects, they don't have a physical form. And that makes it incredibly tough for a customer to really understand what they're getting into. And intangibility is actually more than just not being able to touch something. It creates these 5 very specific challenges for us. I mean, first, there's just no physical object, but then you get into abstractness. How do you picture financial security? Then there's generality. It's hard to tell one consulting firm from another, right? You can't exactly try on legal advice. And sometimes the service is just so complicated, it's really tough to wrap your head around it all. Okay, so if that's the problem, what's the solution? How do businesses even start to tackle this puzzle? Well, they usually start with a really simple but incredibly powerful framework, just to get everyone on the same page.
And here it is. It's called the Service Marketing Triangle. And I know it looks pretty basic, but it is a brilliant blueprint. It shows the 3 key relationships that absolutely have to be in sync for any of this to actually work.
So you've got 3 key players here at the points of the triangle. You've got the company, which is making the big promises through its advertising. You've got the providers. These are the frontline employees who are actually delivering the service. And then, of course, you've got us, the customers. Think of each side of this triangle as a different type of promise. And here it is, the single most important part. The whole system just falls apart if these things aren't connected. The big, splashy promises your ads make have to be perfectly aligned with the actual experience your employees deliver. When that promise is kept, you build trust. When it's broken, you lose customers. It's really that simple. Okay, so let's get into the actual playbook. How do smart companies take an invisible service and make it feel totally real and tangible to their customers? One of the absolute cleverest strategies is to give your service a personality, right? If customers can't see the service itself, you give them something or someone they can see and connect with. And I mean, is there any better example of this than the Geico gecko? Think about it. Car insurance is complicated, it's invisible, it's kind of boring. But this little gecko, he gives it a friendly, memorable face. He turns this abstract concept into a character people actually recognize and maybe even like a little. All right, next up. Another really powerful tactic is to use physical symbols as a kind of visual shortcut. These cues can represent the core promise of the service and tell a whole story in just a single glance. The traveler's umbrella is a perfect example of this. It has become this iconic, instantly recognizable symbol for protection. The company doesn't even need to say the word. That umbrella becomes the tangible proof of their promise to keep you covered. So we've got characters and symbols. Another strategy is to go straight for the heart. You forge a strong emotional connection, usually with some really vivid, unforgettable imagery that makes an abstract idea feel personal and urgent. Just look at this ad from the Sierra Club. The threat of mercury pollution is invisible. It's scientific, it's hard for most of us to grasp. But this image, pairing a pregnant woman with the line, "This little bundle of joy is now a reservoir of mercury," wow. It makes that invisible danger feel shockingly real and incredibly urgent. It's an immediate, powerful, emotional gut punch. And it doesn't even stop there. Marketers have even more tools in their toolbox. They use association, linking their service to a famous person or a specific place. They use physical representation, things like the employee uniforms or the design of their offices. And they use documentation, presenting facts and figures to make the quality of their service feel objective and real. So let's tie this all together. Successfully marketing a service isn't just about one clever ad. It's about building a whole integrated system designed to overcome all these challenges and, most importantly, to consistently keep the promise.
This model really brings it all home. The ultimate goal is pretty simple. You want to deliver a service that is as good as, or even better, than what you promised. But to get there, a company has to manage 5 key areas all at the same time.
So it starts by tackling intangibility, using all those tactics we just talked about. Then you have to carefully manage your service promises so you don't overpromise and underdeliver. From there, it's about managing customer expectations, educating them on how your service works, and, this one is so crucial, managing internal communication so your own team is ready to deliver on that promise every single time.
So, here's something to think about. The next time you use a service you just absolutely love, whether it's your favorite coffee shop, a streaming platform, whatever, just take a second and ask yourself, what are they doing, big and small, to make their invisible promise feel completely tangible and real to me? The answer is probably the secret to their success.